Here is my latest Raspberry Pi hack, what I like to call retro player. Now, I bought this slide viewer for 50p from a Fate a few years ago, and I'd mainly bought it because I liked the shape, kind of old-fashioned TV style. And you would slide a slide into the top, a little hole there, and then there was a light beneath it which would have lit the slide, and this magnifying glass here would have obviously made it bigger so you could see it. I've repurposed it and fitted an OLED screen in the back, which you can see now is displaying, and then I've added a button onto the back which controls the videos. So now I have a retro player, Raspberry Pi inside here, bog standard Raspberry Pi case, and yeah, pretty nice. It's a lovely sunny day today, so you're probably getting a lot of reflection off of here. I'll switch back to nighttime mode at some point so you can probably see it better, but for now let's press the button once. It will select a random video and start playing it. And you may guess which film this is from. Now it looks slightly blue on this screen, on the video. It's actually black and white. There's no blue hue, yeah, it's actually bigger sat in front of me rather than what you're seeing on the camera. So let's see if we can move in a little bit. Obviously you're not getting all the glare that's coming on the camera here. So the OLED screen I think was about $7.99 offline. I have created a video on how to set it up. If you haven't seen that, obviously make sure you check that out. As I said, the viewer was 50p from a Fate. Came in an old-fashioned yellow box which was all smelly and falling to bits. And I said obviously it's a new hack, but I had tried a little while back to get it working with another screen and not had much luck. I could display a picture and that was it. I was on the internet a couple of days ago and I came across this hack from Hackster, and they had done a similar thing with a smaller screen using Adafruit library, the S1306 library for OLED screens, and I really liked it. Kind of fitted what I wanted to do, so I tried it out. But I needed to use a different driver. It's a cheaper OLED board. I need to use the SH1106 driver. I had to repurpose the code a little bit, and here we go. You've seen the result. So yeah, in terms of how it works, basically program running in Python. Press the button at the back, picks a random video. The video is broken down into frames, and then the OpenCV stores each frame, and then we just write that frame to the OLED screen. It's kind of a flicker book effect. There he is. Hi, Johnny. Open up the door. So the clip ends and then it returns back to normal. We'll have a look at the code, how it works in a minute, but I'm sure you probably want to see the insides and how it was set up. Let me just show you how gorgeous it is today. Look. Absolutely beautiful day. Okay, back to the hacking. So I was looking on hackster.io and I came across this really interesting project with a Raspberry Pi and an OLED video player. And what the author's done here is taken an OLED screen and then created a video player out of it, which is really nice. It uses several different libraries, OpenCV, to pull out the frames from each of the frames from the video and then displays them on the OLED screen. So I thought, great, let's try this out. Headed over to Amazon, bought myself one of these, £6.49, an absolute bargain. Got it home. The link is below to this original project, and very kindly they've set out everything you need to do. So I clicked on the link, Raspberry Pi Spy, so it tells you how to set it up. Okay. The problem was though, is when I started running it, it didn't work. And what I ended up with was to show you an image here. What I ended up with was this, which bugged me for ages because I thought there was just a problem with the screen. What I could do is move this image down. So I could move this down to the bottom here, but the rest of it still wouldn't fill in. Thanks to a couple of people on Twitter, UK Scon and can't remember the other guy, so I'm going to check his name. Apologies, Jason, who pointed me in the right direction of this library, which points out that I'm actually using the wrong driver. So if you notice on the original Hackster overview, it was there already, SSD 1306 or 1306. This is the driver for the screen. Now, it does say here, thanks to standard controllers, SSD 1306, 1306, it would work for Raspberry Pi and various other libraries. However, it doesn't. And the driver it uses is different. The driver it uses is SH1106. So if you have a cheaper version of an OLED screen that perhaps you bought from Amazon or other companies, then it may not be the SSD 1306 driver. Now, all is not lost because you can still use it to display images. And if you go to this website, links in the description below, go to installation, and all you need to do is install using these two commands. If you're using Python 3, which most of us probably are, then obviously use pip3, Python 3, just before each Python, put a 3 in, and that will install the correct libraries and code to run your screen.
So let's have a look at the code for the Retro Player. It's available for you to download on my GitHub page, link down below in the description. When you head to the page, it gives you a quick overview of how to install the required libraries. If you haven't checked out the YouTube video or watched the YouTube video, then this is here, a bit more information on it. But what we're going to do in this part is just have a quick look through the code. So if we click in code, load up Retro Player. So here is the program code, not particularly a lot. We start off with the beginning, importing the libraries. In this section here we are setting up the OLED screen. Notice, remember, it's an SH1106 driver, so we have to define that. And this line 20 here is the different line than perhaps the Adafruit one. If you've been using the Adafruit library 1306, I think, then you would have got the error message which I've talked about and shown you in the video. So line 20 sets up the video. We then define the width and height of the screen. Obviously this is dependent on the screen size. Mine is a 1.3 inch. They're available in different sizes. The common one is 0.96. Here you can play around with the actual quality. So at the moment, frame skip 1. If you set this higher, it will skip more frames. That will make your video run smoother, but obviously the quality won't be as good. And then we open up a while statement, and the program pulls out a random number. Now each one of the video clips is stored in the folder, and it's labeled or named 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10. And what the program does here is it picks a random number between 0 and 10, and then let's say, for example, it picks the number 5. It will then play video number 5 because there is a video called number 5. If you have 3 or 4 videos, then obviously change this. So if you've got 4 videos, change this 11 to 5. Otherwise it will throw up an error. The easiest thing for testing is just to change this to 1 and call your video 0, and then it will work. So it prints the name of the film just to make sure it was it found it. Then it uses OpenCV to capture the contents, capture each of the frames in the video clips. Works out the length. Now the reason I had to work out the length was because when you press the button, obviously it plays the video, but the Raspberry Pi or the program didn't know when the video had finished. So the easiest way around that was to work out, well, if I know the length of the frames, let's say there's 100 frames, when it gets to frame 100, that's the end of the video, and therefore it can revert back to enabling the button. To begin with, I had a bit of a nightmare with the button not working because the program didn't know when the video had stopped. So here we have the part of the program. This basically pulls out each of the frames, renders them into black and white, sets the size, displays them on the screen, and this is the length bit here. So if the length of the video is 100 frames, it takes off 1, so it becomes 99. It then loops back round again, 98, loops back round again, and so on. If the length is 0, in other words all the frames have been displayed, then it breaks and it goes back to this bit. Now this little piece of code here is basically displaying the welcome message that you see on the screen when it loads up. Retro player, press the button to play the video. And that's simply the code there. Very easy to use. In fact, probably more demanding to set up the different features and libraries. So if we go back here, you've got to set all this up first before you can actually use the code, and then you can just pop the code into a folder, add your videos in there, and off you go. If you want to use different formats of videos, you can do as well. So if you want to use a GIF file or a I can't think of another one, MPEG file, then you can change the code to match that. So obviously in mine I'm using MP4s, and I've got this a bit at the end. If you're using a GIF, then change it to .gif and that will work. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Share your versions of this or any improvements, and thanks again.